Hello, friends, and welcome to Trailblazing TV. I am Debbra Sweet. I am super excited to be here with you today and introduce you to one of my favorite people, Miss Marcy Browe. Marcy, thank you so much for being with me and welcome to the show.
Thanks, Deborah. Always so great when I get a chance to connect with you, even though it's not in person, but this counts.
Totally. We're rocking and rolling. And so, friend, why Marcy and I are here with you today is we are going to share with you some really quick, powerful tips and insights to help you elevate your brand in 2021. So, Marcy, first and foremost, let's talk about who are you and what do you do? I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Oh, sure. So, you and I have known each other a long time. And the reason that we've connected is because I'm a branding photographer. So what that means is essentially I take photos that help people market themselves. So whether it's a headshot or it's a year's worth of content to promote a program or launch something or just promote your services, I create photography that's really custom to people's brand. And I know you and I love talking about branding, so that's going to be part of our discussion today.
Absolutely. It's all about, this is the time, ladies, stand up, brand up, rise up, level up, so you can be seen, be heard, be really confident as you show up to call in, to attract, connect with your dream ideal clients that are going to definitely help make you more money, right? Even though, so I want to put a declaration out here. I talk a lot about making money because you know what, my clients come to me and that's what they say, Deborah, I need to make more money. I need to get more customers. So the money concept is really important. And friend, first of all, thanks for being with us for a couple of minutes. This is going to be worth your time. I want you to hear this and hear this real clearly. We, Marcy and I both totally know, acknowledge, and recognize that for some people, 2020 was really, they side blinded. They got side blinded. That's my word. I know it's blindsided, right? But side blinded, you got thrown a curveball that you didn't see coming. And business, sometimes I talk about business being like a toboggan ride, right? You're getting through it. Maybe you don't have the suspenders or the suspension on, but you landed. My question is, how did you land in 2020? Did you come out strong, or do you need to kind of get up, regroup, and let's say, all right, man, I'm done with that. Let's figure out how we're going to do 2021. When I talk about the money, though, is that there was a lot of people that really rose up. They pivoted, they innovated, they showed up differently. They were raw, they were real, and they did the best business ever. And that is the desire, the collaborative desire that Marcy and I have for you. She and I have actually been doing a lot of work together. Marcy, I think I came to know you, is it 7 years ago?
I think it's 6 or 7.
Six or seven.
We're losing track.
We're losing track. It's been a long time, right? So as Marcy shared, we do a lot. I do business and brand strategy. So from concept to creation to the strategy to the implementation. And why I love Marcy, and I'm going to ask her some questions in a moment. Why I love her is that with what I do, when my clients say, Deb, I need more business, help me get there. The very first thing that I always do is I have to assess, what's your brand? What's the position that you own? And friend, if you don't know that answer, let's make sure that we talk, because that's really important. So here's the thing. When you are promoting your brand, you're promoting your business, it's not enough to just throw money to the wall, do old school, what we call throw and stick advertising, and hope that it works. You really want to connect with people that are right for you. And that takes intention and strategy. And when I work with my clients writing the marketing plans and putting the parts and pieces together, visual representation of who you are and what you do is super important. And I got to tell you, I've spent hours and hours and hours and hours, countless hours, sometimes looking for the one perfect photo that's in a stock photography site. When I came to know Marcy, I'm like, yes, I got somebody in my inner world who gets it. And Marcy, please, let's talk to that for a moment. Let's talk about, first of all, to go a little deeper, tell us a little bit more, what is brand photography? Because there's a couple parts and pieces that I want to lean into.
Yes. It's so funny that you mentioned the stock photography, because I had a conversation with someone this morning, and I'll share because it ties in perfectly. So I actually, before I had my branding business, I used to sell and create create and sell stock photography. So
Oh,
I
wow.
know that world really well. And so stock photography is photography that's pre-created and it's kind of generic enough so everybody could use it in their marketing. And it's meant to be already created and affordable for you so you can have images to use in your marketing pieces. And the difference with branding photography is it's really specific for each person or team of people and is proprietary. Nobody else can use it. And what it really does is it helps people understand what it's like to work with you and
Mm.
the results that they're going to get when they work with you. So really it's pre-selling, if you want to think of it like that.
Mm.
It's photography that will allow people to feel like they know you and they're already going to, in their mind, know what they're going to get when they work with you. So when your photography is on point with your brand, it really does a lot of the heavy lifting for you with the pre-cold, all of the, pre-marketing stuff that you need to do.
I love that. So for just a clarification, and so sometimes good enough is good enough. Sometimes a stock photo will do the job. But
Absolutely.
what I love about you and your work and why it's important to the people that we're talking to here today is that when you're ready to rise up, brand up, and level up, good enough is no longer good enough, right? Now it's about harnessing the brilliance of who you are, what you do. And there's a couple of components. And Marcy, I've given you a lot of referrals. You're an easy person for me to refer because I know that you get it. You understand the details. You're so different as a photographer. You and I, we've done shoots together where I'm there to make sure that we're on vision, we're on track, we're getting the nuances of what fits into the bigger plan, and that you're really capturing the essence, the real essence of the moment, so that those photos can go into all the other marketing pieces.
Yeah.
And so let's talk for a moment. Let's start at the beginning. And why is having a good headshot, like a real brand, a branded headshot, important? And why is it important for our audience here to understand that they should be showing up with an amazing brand photo? So talk about that first.
Sure. Okay, I love this question because it's so relevant. At the very least, you need to have an updated, current, on-brand headshot. And so the reason that headshot is really important, it's like a visual handshake. So
Mm.
you don't want to use a photo where you thought maybe you looked hot on New Year's Eve in 2007, you cropped everyone else out. There we go, good enough. That people can tell when you're just kind of using, you're shoehorning something in, and then you really, it's your introduction. It's like you
Mm.
looking at someone in the eye. So you don't want to wear sunglasses, you don't want to necessarily be looking away, you don't want it to be too far away. It's a headshot, and it's head and shoulders, you looking at the camera, usually smiling or with a pleasant expression. Not everyone needs to have the big smile,
Right.
but you need to have a pleasant expression, and it needs to be representing you. You don't want to take it like if you were a groomsman at a wedding, or if you were on vacation and you had your sunglasses on. That might be an amazing photo that you can use to really supplement your story, but that's
Right.
not a branded headshot.
I'm just giggling because if you only knew how many times I've had a client where I'm like, okay, what are your digital assets? Oh, I need a headshot. And they're like,
Yeah.
So I scour, and I'm the one cutting out the head because it's like all I have. And
I
or
know.
so guys, your groomsmen, that's unless if you are in the wedding industry and you're showcasing your talent as maybe, something there, maybe. But even then, that's not quite right. And ladies, I got to speak to this right now. If the boudoir shot that you think is all awesome and all that, and it probably is, unless you're selling boudoir services, that is not what you want. I promise you. And we're
It's
going
so
to,
true.
I
And I
work.
love the boudoir
Oh
photography. It's super fun and empowering, but you're going to put on your hair and makeup differently. And obviously you're going to wear different clothes in a boudoir photography than you would with a professional photography. So go and get the boudoir, go and have amazing wedding photos.
Oh yeah.
That all serves a purpose. But if you really want to be serious and be taken seriously in business, you need to have a decent headshot at the minimum.
So there's something else I want to talk to you about this because it's super important. Again, friend, as you're watching us, look up what's in your profile. What is your headshot? Right? So there is a huge difference. Now I'm advocating for Marcy, and yep, I'm going to kind of sell her hard because she's this good. If you're in the Southern California area, connect up with her. I recommend her. I bring her into so many projects because here's what I found. I always think about, Marcy, there was a gentleman I referred to you handful of years ago. You know who I'm talking about. I told you, I called you right in. I'm like, man, I need you to get over here. And
Oh, you know who you're
because,
talking about
yes,
now? Yeah.
I know who you're talking about. Yes, bless his heart, rest in peace. The gentleman that the headshot that his company had been using, a global company, totally did not represent the human that I met. And when I
No.
saw him in person, and then I saw
So
what he was
handsome
using,
and so dynamic, and his headshot looked like a mugshot. It was
you know
horrible
what?
for the press.
Okay, so I'm going to speak to this. It wasn't just a mugshot. So friend, as you're listening to Marcy and I, right? There's a couple of things that I want you to pick up on here. First of all, there's a real difference. A headshot, when we think about a headshot, especially in business, there's kind of this common thought. I need to wear black, I need to wear gray, I need to be in a suit, and I need to stand with my arms crossed. Okay, so friends, I'm going to call it out.
I was just going to say, I hope you show.
And this is so raw and so live. Okay, so friends, this was my very first professional headshot. I'm a hard introvert. Yes, I am. And I didn't know Marcy then. So this was a photo. This is that standard. I need to wear black. And yes, we toned me down because I thought that was what I had to do. Because yes, I've got hair out to here. So I straightened my hair. I have my little black suit. There's a little pop of color here. I thought that was really cool. But then when I went to the photographer, right, I didn't know how to pose. So I'm like, what do I do? And that's what the photographer told me to do, was I had to stand like this, right? Well, if that is, so I want to say something. There is a time and a place where maybe that power pose works, right?
Yes,
And
exactly. This isn't out of style. It just has to be done with the right elements in place.
Yes. And Marcy, you are awesome at it. And there are these little itty bitty details that make the difference and make your photos just really showcase the person that you're doing the photography for. And my goal here is to not go too deep in that right now, but friend, reason I'm telling you this is that if you're thinking about, like, oh, I'll just get anybody to go click a picture. I'll just put on my little suit, my little black suit and my gray suit, right? Well, first of all, is that part of your brand? Is that truly the representation of your color? The clothing that you're wearing has a lot to do with the energy that you express. And so I go back to this one gentleman that I referred to, Marcy. I remember that the photo when I first met him, the photo they were using, he had one photo was in a very light gray suit, and it just paled. It made him go pale. He disappeared, and he was very dynamic. And what was beautiful is that I gave you the vision. Here's the brand positioning and here's how we need to showcase it. You went on site, you took care of it, and you brought to me these photos that, yes, he was in a suit at one point, but you did something else. You got him in, part of his brand was approachable. So you had him actually show up in a sweater and a couple of different clothes, and bam, you captured him because you made him approachable, engaging, and it totally showcased his knowledge and expertise. So talk a little bit more about that, because I'm speaking to, I want everybody to know, as you look up and look at your profile, this is the time and place where if you want to be seen and heard, any photo, any selfie may not be serving you right now. So talk a little bit more about that.
There's so many things I want to say, Deborah. So I'm really trying to find the one thing. I think the one takeaway that I want to say about this knowing that I have about 1,000 things to say, is that if you're feeling like you are undercharging for your services, or if you feel like people are price shopping you,
Mm,
or maybe you're the kind of person that is looking at your competition, which I say in air quotes,
mhm.
maybe you're looking at people you feel are your competition and you're thinking, gosh, she has it all together. She really looks like she's this outstanding person. Any of these things in your head that you're feeling like you're not enough, you're not
Mm,
like representing the part, that's because you probably don't have marketing, messaging, or visuals that have you looking the part. And
mhm.
because we're living in a world right now where it's so easy to start a business, it's not easy to maintain a business. I didn't say that. To
Yes.
start a business, it looks effortless because there's so many people out there that are starting programs, or there's 3 billion photographers in the world. But the important thing is that you really need to understand how you want to put yourself out there. And there's questions you can ask. And you touched on
Mhm.
this when you talked about your client, Deborah, is that you went through and you did the brand work with him, and he was part of a larger company.
Yep.
And that's the important part, because you can go to Walmart or to Sears and get a photo. That's fine. You can go and sit, and you can have your stepmom or your son or your neighbor take a photo of you. Getting a photo is not hard, but getting a photo that's going to make you look the part and is going to make you feel like you are worthy of asking for the money
Yeah.
that you really want to make. I am telling you, it sounds really fluffy and lofty, but once you have the visuals and the messaging that match what you feel like you want to ask for, that's when you start to really make the money and feel like you deserve it, and feel confident to raise your prices or increase your packages, or whatever it is that you feel like, oh, I'm just not quite there yet. And if you're feeling this, if you're hearing me say this, and you know that feeling, because we've all been there. We've all been like, oh gosh, I can't ask for that kind of money, or oh, I can't offer that service. Like, who am I to do that? That's that disconnect that we talk about, Deborah. But there's something really powerful in just having a suite of images where you can be like, well, bam, yeah, look at me now.
Absolutely. And so I want to, and you touched on quite a few things, that disconnect, right? So part of my story, friend, I got to show you. So I met Marcy 7 years ago. You can see part of her energy. She's just like this. I love her. Her talent is amazing. I started to notice that, well, I knew right away. She's got talent. She's got an eye, and she gets it. She gets this brand component. Well, when she and I met, I was actually, I was in a very significant level up for myself. And I started a new entity. I was going through a very significant health issue at the time. I was really assessing where I was, what I wanted to go, where I wanted to be. And more importantly, there was this life vision I had always had, and things, I was in a disconnect. Well, when Marcy showed up, I was getting rid of the disconnect. I trailblazed through a process to get through my health issue, renovated the businesses. I made some very important decisions. I did a lot of inner work. And with that is I stepped forth boldly, and I became Marcy's client. So friend, this is my initial, this is my core brand photo. This is a distinct difference than that power pose in black and white, right? Lot of collaboration that Marcy and I did together to get to this point where this is one of a handful of images she did for me that, if you look up at my LinkedIn, you're going to see this one. It's the one that I use here in LinkedIn most often. But why I'm sharing this is that our collaboration, there's a lot of strategy that I went through, and I trailblazed through a process that I call brand you. And I branded up. That's what I did. I rose up, I leveled up, like those things that Marcy was talking about, that feeling that maybe you're not enough. You maybe, so here's the thing, the women that, and the men that we both deal most with, they're very smart, they're very intelligent, they're good, they're amazing, get it done people. We do a lot. It's amazing what we can do. But a lot of times we do things in a way that we're not doing for ourselves. We are doing for everybody else. And so, but there's this struggle, this disconnect of, man, I need to do something for me. It's my time. So Marcy, you're so true, right? 2020 presented the perfect opportunity. And some people took advantage of it. Some people, they're right there now. They're like, yeah, I'm done. I've had enough. I'm rocking and rolling. I'm starting this business that I've always wanted to. Or if you took that initiative in 2020, but now you're ready to go to the next level, you may be sitting with questions. Well, dang, how do I make all this happen? Right? How do I pull this all together visually?
Yeah.
A lot of people, so here's the thing, a lot of people teach parts, systems, process, procedure, right? There's a lot of tools to help you market and show up. And I'm a huge proponent that you must have the right infrastructure in your company. But until you own your brand, you know how to show up and be seen, show up and be heard, you're aligned with your values, we get you through some of the hiccups in your money story so you can actually charge and receive with confidence, and you have a brand plan, you're going to spin in your tracks. So Marcy, talk to me for a moment. If somebody, like you have so much to share, and so do I, but what is one other tip that you can leave us with? And then let's talk about how, I want to extend an invitation to our those that are with us here today to come lock arms with us for a little bit longer and learn more, because you and I have learned a lot of lessons in 2020 that we are bringing forth to help support more businesses in 2021. So speak into that for a moment.
Oh my gosh. So there's a lot of tips that I can think of. And so when you think about 2020 was such a curveball for everybody, I don't care who you are or what place you're in, 2020 was a curveball.
Yeah.
And when I think about my business, yeah, of course, I lost a ton of business in 2020 because we had to shut down, and there's a lot going on there. But 2019, I had spent that year deciding that I was going to invest in my business. And I spent a lot of time and money and energy and effort really taking a hard look at where I had some gaps, where I was weak. And I hired several coaches that year, and I invested in several things. I actually wrote a whole blog post about it. You can go to my website, marcybrowe.com, and search in my blog post for how I invested in myself in 2019. But what I didn't know was that I was getting ready to be ready for the curveball. Because when 2020 landed with a freaking thud, I had already gotten clear on who my person was, how I wanted to show up, how I wanted to receive. That's a huge thing. I was ready to receive. And I was not in victim mode for very long, maybe 2 weeks of 2020. I just had all this like really good energetic base to stand on. So when 2020 came, I felt like I was able to just like dodge and weave and just go back to what I had invested in. So my tip, this is a long way around to saying that my tip is, you know where you're weak. You know where you have gaps in your business. And I would say it's a really good thing to do to invest in yourself and invest in your business and hire someone that can help you, whether you're weak in sales. I hired a sales coach, and she was an investment. I'm not going to lie. And I was really hesitant to hire her because of that investment, but it was the best decision I ever made. And I knew I was weak there. I kept like missing sales or underselling. And so I hired someone, and she was amazing. I wrote all about it in my blog. But I think you know where your weaknesses are. Ask for help. There's people out there that are a really good fit for you if you're feeling weak. So that's my tip, because you're always learning and evolving. So don't just stay in a place where you feel stuck or stagnant. You need to have energy moving and growing. And to be a human, to have a human spirit, to be born with a soul, means that you are meant to find the joie de vivre of life. And you are meant to find joy. You are meant to grow and learn and evolve. And so that's my tip, and that's my plead with you. If you feel like you're stuck, please ask for help and grow and invest in yourself. Your future self will thank you.
Yes. So glad you said all that. You're my girl. I speak the same language. And I'm right there with you on that. It's the same thing. I've been doing that. I've invested many years.
You
2020,
have, Deborah, I am cutting you off because I just want to say I have watched your growth because we're now friends. We when we work together, we're just getting to know each other, but we're fully friends. So I've seen behind the curtain. And I've seen how much you've invested in yourself because that's been important to you and you said yes to you. And I can see it. I can't even imagine how much you must feel it because from my perspective, it's very obvious that you are a thriving, growing, evolving human.
Thank you. Well, for me, I skidded down. Life knocked me out and leveled me out quite a few times in my journey to get here. And it was really interesting. I love how you said that what you did in 2019 prepared you. Well, it wasn't for me just 2019. It was my whole life.
Of course.
It was my whole life, because when we entered into 2020, although I was not pleased, I actually wasn't taken out and knocked down. I was able to step up and serve.
Yes.
I was able to serve and lead and be that support. And so with that, Marcy, you and I, a couple of years ago, I love this. A couple of years ago, I said yes to another level of me, and I threw a whim I love it, right? A whim of an idea together that turned into something that I say that I birthed a baby and it took off with legs, right? Well, you and I, we weren't able to really collaborate as much in 2020 the way we did in person, but we did set something in motion that we are now in the throes of. And so, friend, we are inviting you in. Marcy, myself, and I'm going to bring this back up because this right here, this is the collaborative evidence. I call this the Three Musketeers, but I think I want a better name, right? Well, we'll figure that out. But what this photo is right here is evidence of my inner work and living what I teach, right? Branding up, leveling up, right? I took myself through the journey. I trailblazed through how do I get through the disconnect so I can truly show up the way I knew I was meant to, but I didn't know how to. And trust me, I've hired coaches and trainers and I picked up bits and pieces, but it was my own inner trailblazing that now allows me to serve and show others the process, the pathway, so it doesn't have to take you a long time. Well, what this is about right here is, this is a landmark photo for so many reasons. 2 days before this, I had actually just did a very significant round of deep trauma release training work because of some stuff that had happened in my past. So Marcy documented it. It's like crazy when we compare my previous photos she took to this one. But what this is really about, why I'm telling you this, friend, is that this is a collaboration of Marcy's brilliance, my inner work, and then we have a third amazing Wonder Woman. Her name is Miss Emily Klawans. Emily is a brand stylist. So Emily guided me. Like I always wanted to be fashionable, but I grew up with some very butt ugly clothes. That's all I'm going to tell you, right? I didn't know how to put it together. I grew up in a really masculine way. I thought I had my style figured out, but you know what? Emily helped me pull the pieces together.
Oh my gosh, Emily, what a superstar.
Oh, you know what? You were so awesome. Thank you for referring her to me because I had a need for this photo shoot. Right. And I shared my concerns, right? I knew that you were going to take my photos, but I'm like, Marcy, I have no idea what to wear. I don't know how to do this. And you're like, I think I have the right woman for you. Oh boy, did you ever. So the three of us, friend, what I'm inviting you to, what we're leading to is right here. Marcy and I, we figured out how to serve you in this current virtual world. We're taking something that the two of us have done with brilliance before. We've added Emily into the equation to totally help support you with where you're at in 2021. So we invite you. We have 2 live trainings that are coming up. One is this Thursday. It is Thursday, March 25th. It's from 2 to 3:30 Pacific time. There's no cost for this. We are going to be doing kind of a State of the Union type presentation. We're going to be sharing some of our best tips to help you show up with more confidence on camera when you're doing these Zoom meetings, as you're going back into real life and living, how to be more on brand and be raw and real with who you are so you can connect with the clients that you're designed to serve. So we're going to drop the link below, grab a seat, be with us. If you're unable to make it on the 25th, we have April 1st, we're going to do it again. This is live, not Memorex. For those of you that are old enough to know that joke, you got it, right? So be with us March 25th or April 1st at branduptraining.com. But if you really want to lock arms with us a little bit more, and you're so ready to learn and go a little deeper so you can truly understand what is it that your brand needs, so you can show up visually, you can show up verbally, so you're being seen, you're being heard, you look and feel great in the clothes that you love to wear, that actually what does Emily call it? She says it's like the cover to your story,
Yeah,
right?
she says it's the cover to your story. Exactly.
The cover to your story, right? So your clothing can serve you and support you in your journey. If you want to be with us, we are leading a one-day live training. And girls, this is for you. Ladies, this is for you. Guys, I love you, but I'm going to close the doors. This is a women's room only. I have other things that I do for men, right? So that is on April 8th, and you can just get tickets right now. That is at branduptogether.com. This is a limited seating interactive event. We are bringing you, the three of us are bringing you the best of what you need right now to help you move into that next level of you. So truly, you can be seen, you can be heard. You're going to be living on values to attract and connect with the clients that are going to help you make the money that you deserve and desire. So any final thoughts that you want to share?
I'm just excited to bring this event back because we had presented it the first month of 2020, not knowing what the crystal ball was going to have in store. And it was incredible. We did it in person at my photo studio, and it was really cool. I looked around the room and I saw everybody taking notes and just really just immersing themselves in how to really show up as their brand. And it was really felt amazing to have that training in person. And now we're mimicking what we did in person. We're doing it on Zoom. So it's not going to be this typical Zoom like you see us right now. We're two talking heads. We're having this whole interactive event. We have workbooks for you. You're going to receive in the mail. We have goodies that you're going to receive in the mail so you can participate as if you were there in person. So I'm really excited about that part too, because we decided we weren't going to just do talking heads at you because we all have that Zoom like fatigue and burnout. So you will be joining us over Zoom, but it's going to be a very cool interactive experience. And the tickets are incredibly affordable. This isn't like a huge invest all your money kind of event. It's so awesome. I'm really excited for this event, and we're going to have lots of interactions. So it's like you're going to get to spend the whole day with a stylist, with a brand photographer, and with a brand strategist. So you will walk away with strategies to actually turn your brand into like a living, breathing version of how you want to show up in the world. So that's what I'm excited about. I'm really excited to literally help people change their lives and make more money. That is so meaningful to me.
Me too. All right. So girlfriend, we could talk for hours. Clearly we're going to do that as we continue on. But friend, thank you so much for being here. Get your tickets, be with us for the free live stream training that we're doing. And you know what? I invite you, share this with the gals that you know. They need to know this too. Y'all can do this together, right? Lock arms, show up, be with us. March 25th, April 1st, and then definitely make sure you get your tickets early for April 8th. So in closing, remember this. You are needed. You are wanted. You are valued. I see you. I hear you. I stand for you. It's truly your time to rise up, stand up, brand up, so you can truly shine and be that woman you've always felt compelled, you knew and you know you were supposed to be. Live in your power, live in your peace, and as always, rock on. All right. Thank you. Thanks, Marcy. Bye.